And there came a day unlike... Wait, no, that's been done. Who knows what evil lurks in... No, that is that other thing. What has yellow skin and rights? Ah, forget it. You're listening to Panelology. Excelsi, oh, damn it.
Welcome to a special Solicitations bonus episode of Panelology. I'm Alex.
I'm Jenna.
And I am Brian.
How is everybody on this, the first day of 2021?
Happy to have survived 2020.
Oh my god. Yeah, definitely that one. Yeah.
I finally cracked open Marvel's Avengers and threw it in my PS4 last night, and let me tell you, they get Kamala Khan so right.
Nice.
Excellent.
A breath of fresh air, she is.
Nice.
Okay, let's talk about comics.
Yeah. Let's talk about comics that aren't out yet.
Yeah.
We are going to try doing Solicitations as their own episodes for a while here. Partly because there are so goddamn many to talk about.
Yeah. Just so it doesn't lengthen an episode and just we have a little more time we can spend on it.
Yeah. So, starting with Aftershock. Bequest #1. This is on both Brian's and my lists.
Well, Tim Seeley doing a book. We're gonna pay attention.
and Freddie Williams II doing the art. We're going to pay attention.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started reading the solicitation for this, which is like, oh, welcome to the high fantasy world of Tangia. And I was like, oh, okay, it's another high fantasy book. That'll be fine. And so you read that, and it's a fairly standard, introduction line or whatever.
Second paragraph. Welcome to Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah. Where magical artifacts from this world of Tangia are being sold on the black market.
God damn it, Arnie.
I was going to say, I really hope there's like a portal behind a Burger King
There had better be.
If there is, that would be pretty amazing, yeah.
Also, maybe actionable. Chunts up with that. But yes.
Hey, we don't want action against us, so
no.
chill.
It's fine, Adel and I are friends now, sort of.
Fair enough.
Yes, a group of Tangian adventurers have to go retrieve artifacts and stop monsters from falling into the wrong hands.
Yeah, so essentially we're going to get a D&D party in the real world.
Yes. Over at Black Mask, Destiny New York #1.
Yeah. Have either of you already read this?
No.
Oh, so this is just fun for me. Do you have it on your list?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say put it on your fucking list. This is a Pat Shand book, and you guys know that if it's Pat Shand, it's on my radar. By the way, he has a Kickstarter, or had a Kickstarter, it just wrapped, for this book called Thirsty, and I'm like, Pat, come on,
Shit,
Pat.
that wrapped up already? I missed it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
How on the nose is that one?
When we get the add-ons, I'll see if I can get you one.
Okay.
This book is about people who have peaked, basically. People who had a destiny and they fulfilled it, and now what do they do? What do they do? So they all moved to this town in New York. Or they all live in New York City, I guess. And this young girl, Logan, basically falls in with a crime family.
Like you do.
Like you do, yeah.
Well, and not like you're in your late 30s or early 40s and fulfill your destiny, but like, as the chosen ones always are, like late teens.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of your life left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do when you know that you've literally peaked?
I mean, you train the next chosen. That's the obvious.
Yeah.
But
this universe spins out a couple of things, like Gangster Ass Barista, which is fantastic. Fantastic.
We've definitely talked about that on the show.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm very much looking forward to this, yes.
Me
Good.
too. Over at Boom, Proctor Valley Road #1.
Yeah.
Written by Alex Child and Grant Morrison. Art
Who's
by
that?
they're just this person,
Okay,
this comics writing person,
got it.
obscure, very very underground.
Sure.
Art by Naomi Franquise, and they name drop Paper Girls and Die as books that, if you like those, you might like this.
Indeed.
Yeah, I gotta say, Boom is real good at saying, "Yeah, if you like these, you'll like this," and me going, "Oh well, shit, I
Well,
like those."
damn it.
They know their targets.
Yes,
Weird.
they do.
So weird. This Naomi Franquise did the art for Harrow County, and this
Oh.
is so my jam.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
a bunch of kids have to... They oops themselves into having to fight monsters. Yeah. I'm all about it. Plus, it kind of has, like, a... If anybody ever read Scott Westerfeld's Midnighters, which was my absolute favorite book as a preteen, this has... It sort of sounds like that kind of a vibe. I mean, I don't think that time stops at midnight or anything, but it just kind of sounds like that.
Cool. How about Firefly, brand new verse #1?
Fuck yeah. Wash and Zoe's daughter. Oh, dogs. I know, it's too soon. Still, I get it. You are a leaf on the wind. Wash and Zoe's daughter leading a crew aboard Serenity. I mean, what else could you ask for?
Very cool.
And also from Boom, the Wind Volume 1 Flight of the Prince hardcover.
Yeah, I just wanted to. We've mentioned this several times, and it got released. They ended up deciding to release it as singles, but the hardcover collected edition of this is going to be coming out, and I just wanted to put that on people's radars if they missed the individual issues.
Yes, excellent
Yeah.
book. Moving on to Dark Horse, Dead Dog's Bite #1.
Yeah. This is Tyler Boss, who drew most of Four Kids Walk Into a Bank.
Yep.
And that was all I needed to see. I don't even think I read the solicitation.
That's fair. That's also going to be true of my next book on the list, Orphan and the Five Beasts, #1 of 4. I just saw James Stokoe's name on it, writing and drawing, and like, yep, okay, if he draws it, I'm gonna get it. Especially if it's like monster action books, because yes, please.
Yes, please.
And then Brian, Black Hammer Visions #2.
So one of two things: either I didn't participate in the last solicitations episode. Option B, I just can't remember anything. Or yeah, so I don't think I mentioned Visions #1. That's why I'm putting #2 on the list.
Cool.
But yeah, this is essentially some other people taking a shot at writing in the Black Hammer universe, and they are specifically stories that are kind of horror-esque that deal with the house that Madame Dragonfly lives in. Yeah,
Cool.
the Cabin of Mystery or whatever it's called.
Coming in from IDW, we have the Lock and Key Keyhouse Compendium hardcover.
I mean, everybody on the show has talked about this book before, but like, this is a collection that if you have not somehow picked up in some form, you can now get this one single kind of omnibus hardcover that is everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you should do that.
Plus, if you need to cudgel your enemies with
I
something.
was about to say that's going to be a chonky beast.
It's chonky beast. I think it's listing at 125. Yeah.
Ooh, that's not bad.
No, it's not.
Moving on to Image. Carmen #1 of 5, Brian.
Yeah. So this is Dan Christensen and Guillaume March. Guillaume March is he's done a lot of work on Batman and Catwoman fairly recently.
Yep.
And just beautiful. This is a story about an angel named Carmen who takes somebody under her wing, and like just the cover was kind of striking to me, and I don't know, something about it resonated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some preview pages out there, and they are gorgeous.
Yes, I have to be. Yes.
Yeah. Next up from Image is Noctera #1.
I imagine this was on your list also.
It was on my list also. I can also pull a Jin here and say I have read the first issue, sort of.
Ah, there you go.
There's an asterisk on this one. So Scott Snyder and Tony Daniel did a Kickstarter to do two things. One, to kind of do outreach and help build an audience for this book, because this is the first book in Scott Snyder's own publishing imprint, which is being published in partnership with Image. But also, too, because it's a creator-owned book, like, to put a little money into the project up front, in practical terms. So simultaneously outreach and just, hey, let's be financially responsible in this quarantine times when it was kickstarted. So I have a PDF of, and the physical version is coming soon, the uncolored, unlettered art and the script, like page by page, side by side.
Oh, wow.
So I have read it that way, and I can tell you it is very, very cool. It is about a woman who we actually meet as a young girl when the sun fails to come up, named Val Riggs, whose job is basically driving people along driving people and goods along deadly unlit roads, as the solicitation puts it, in her brightly lit 18-wheeler. The premise is if you're in the dark for too long, you turn into a monster.
Ah.
Yeah.
So the horror version of Ice Road Truckers, huh?
Yeah. Sure. Shadecraft #1. This is from the same creative team as... Oh, shoot. What was that book called?
Skyward.
Skyward. Thank you.
Yeah. So that was enough for me. This is about a young girl who's afraid of her own shadow, and also every shadow, because, oh, hey, the shadows are coming to life and trying to kill her. What the fuck? Somehow it all ties into her family, and she's got to discover why. But I learned while reading the solicitation, and I don't know how, I have never noticed this before, that Joe Henderson is the showrunner for Lucifer.
Yep.
Oh my god.
This is...
It all makes sense.
Yes. Over at Marvel, apparently we're just living in the abyss for a few books here. Because we have our monthly round of King and Black tie-ins. And once again, you go, I don't need more tie-ins. And then you read who the creative teams are and say, fuck, I do in fact need more tie-ins.
I know.
Those bastards.
Wiccan and Hulkling, written by Teenie Howard and Luciano Vecchio.
Fuck.
Ghost Rider, written by Ed Brisson with art by Juan Frigeri. A Spider-Man one-shot, written by Jed MacKay with art by Michelle Bandini. And a Scream one-shot, written by Clay McLeod Chapman with art by Gary Brown. Plus issues of Fantastic Four and Sword and all of the previously announced miniseries. All of this wraps up in March.
Yep.
And spinning out of that, a book I think tailor-made for me, Beta Ray Bill #1
Oh,
5,
no.
in which Beta Ray Bill fights who, Brian?
A nullified Fin Fang Foom.
How? How did I not see this?
Written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson of Murder Falcon and Wonder Woman Dead Earth.
Yeah, yep.
Wishes do come true.
I mean, Beta Ray Bill, I was like, oh, okay, I'm interested. I'm gonna read what the solicitation is. I'll give it that much. And it's like, oh, he doesn't have his hammer anymore, and he's got to find a new weapon. I was like, okay, that could be cool. And has to fight a nullified Fin Fang Foom. I was like, well, now I'm buying it.
Fuck.
Yep. Also in the, well, fuck, I read it, and now I read the details, and now I have to buy it column. Black Knight, Curse of the Ebony Blade, #1 of 5. Written by Cy Spurrier, art by Sergio Davila. I know nothing, basically, about the Black Knight, except that Jon Snow plays him in the upcoming Eternals film.
Oh, does he?
Is it Jon Snow,
Kit
or
Harington?
is it Jon Snow, or is it Robb Stark?
I think it's Kit Harington.
I think so too. Yeah.
Who has just the most... Look, I'm going to be creepy for half a second. The most beautiful, perfect Cupid's bow lips. How?
You heard it here first. Jin says Kit Harington has a nice mouth.
Boy, you
pretty
sure
mouth.
do got a pretty mouth.
There it is.
I made it weirder. Oh no, Alex, I'm taking your job.
Whatever will I do?
Step up your game, make it even weird.
Oh God.
Eventually, we just end up on watch lists.
End up.
More watch lists.
Okay.
Carnage, Black, White, and Blood #1, or Be Careful What You Wish For because you'll get more art-forward anthology series. I am not a huge Carnage person, but Donny Cates, Benjamin Percy, Teenie Howard, Sarah Pichelli, Ken Lashley, I'm gonna read it.
Poop.
Yeah.
Poop.
Then we find ourselves in the let's talk about these solicitations again a year later corner.
Yeah.
Silk #1 of 5 should finally come out in March. This is written by Maureen Gu with art by Takushi Miyazawa. This was originally announced back before everything shut down last year. Ooh, it feels good to say that way. Last year. And is finally back on the docket. Same is true of America Chavez, Made in the USA, #1 of 5.
Woohoo!
This is written by Kalinda Vasquez, who was a writer on Marvel's Runaways, with art by Carlos Gomez. And America Chavez is great, and we just heard, I believe, casting for her for upcoming Marvel stuff at the Disney Investor Day stuff. So, much excitement.
Yeah.
Then we have Children of the Atom #1, which I think this is our third or fourth time talking about in solicitations.
It just keeps showing up on the solicitations list. One day it'll come in and come out.
If it gets delayed again, then we can prove that Marvel is just Lucy with a football and we are Charlie Brown.
Truth.
But I want it to come out because Vita Ayala. We apologize for that audio.
I kept it low.
You did. Demon Days, X-Men #1 of 5 one-shots, I think is the way I read the solicitation text.
Yeah. I think there's going to be 5 Demon Day one-shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about this, Brian.
I mean, so if you have seen a lot of variant covers from Marvel probably over the last 3 or 4 months or so, you have noticed a very beautiful art style covers done by Peach Momoko. And they are now doing the writing, the covers, the interior art, everything for this book.
Yes.
And I can't wait for it.
It reminds me a little bit in premise of the Neil Gaiman Marvel 1602 or whatever, but for like feudal Japan.
Yes. Yep. And imagine who this is going to be. A wandering swordswoman with a psychic blade arrived.
Huh.
Yeah, it's definitely got that wandering samurai style story to it. Yeah, like I said, everything about this, I cannot wait.
Yep. And our last Marvel book, unless I have failed horribly at my job, Deadpool Nerdy 30 #1. Written by Rob Liefeld, Fabian Nicieza, Scotty Young, Gail Simone, Kelly Thompson, Jerry Duggan, and Brian Posehn, and more. With art by Rob Liefeld, Patch Zurcher, Kevin Lebrando, Aaron Conley, and more.
Oh no, there's gonna be so many pockets.
Yeah, this is a one-shot 30th anniversary celebration of Deadpool. It's basically got several stories in it that are all different birthdays of Deadpool. Apparently,
yes. My favorite here is a Sweet 16 party that would make Molly Ringwald weep.
Oh my gosh.
Which is actually a really hard thing to say. Say Molly Ringwald weep 3 times.
Molly
fast.
Ringwald weep.
Shut up, you.
Now say Immortal Hulk.
Murder her.
Hey, Alex, we can make Jen weep.
Oh no.
Mother. There it is.
What are you doing? Why are you doing this?
I got the look.
Meanwhile, while my guitar gently weeps, over at Vault, Witchblood #1.
Yeah. Wild West road trip, witches, modern times. I don't know. It just looks beautiful and amazing, and I need it.
Excellent. And it's Vault. It's going to be good.
Right. Yeah.
I named the Vault teases as one of the things I was most looking forward to in 2021, like 2 weeks ago when we recorded our favorites episode. And then the names only kept getting more and more and more exciting. So, yes, much excitement, Vault in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, you know what else we all mentioned on that that we were looking forward to?
Literally everything DC is publishing in March.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And we actually have some information about that.
So, welcome to part of the reason why we just needed to make this its own episode.
Yeah.
DC has told us what is happening after Future State. And as we had speculated, like, a lot of those creative teams are staying on. And a lot of the Future State books inform what will be happening going forward.
Yeah.
I am super excited about the way that this has kind of been planned out. As kind of a general sort of header concept here, they're only putting out, I counted, 18 books in their main line. Many, if not most of them, are some form of either anthology or main story, backup story structure. And one of the things that a couple of the creators who were writing those backups, who had also, especially if they had also written the Future State stories, have kind of hinted at on Twitter, is that those backups may, and I don't know if that means if things sell well enough, or if that means this is the plan and they have to be coy, but may be setting up their own series that will get announced later on. Which I mentioned because as we go through these, there will be some things that are obviously missing. Like, there is no Aquaman book in March. There is no Legion of Superheroes. There are some big things that are not there. So I think we'll see this line expand.
Yes.
But I like that they're keeping it small so it's easy to come in and kind of try everything.
It reminds me of kind of how they launched New 52.
Except the reverse and better.
Yeah. In that they had a very and what I mean by that is they had a very, very planned, controlled release of how they wanted to do it.
I at least think they wanted us to think that, yes.
Okay, fair enough.
But they also started with 52 titles.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not number wise. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was not part of that.
And this is also kind of functionally doing the opposite. Everything matters again. We kick off with Infinite Frontier number 0. This whole push is being called Infinite Frontier.
Mm-hmm.
This is written by Scott Snyder, Jeff Johns, James Tynan IV, Joshua Williamson, Jeffrey Thorne, Philip Kennedy Johnson, Brian Michael Bendis, Becky Cloonan, Michael W. Conrad, Joel Jones, and Tim Sheridan, which, spoiler alerts, are a lot of names you're going to hear a lot in this episode.
Weird.
Art is from John Timms, Howard Porter, Joel Jones, Jorge Jimenez, Aletha Martinez, David Rodriguez, Stephen Byrne, Jamal Eigel, Dexter Soy, Rafa Sandoval, Alex Maleev, John Romita Jr., and others. I'm assuming the others here are colorists, because we can't name colorists, apparently.
I mean, we don't. People don't.
That's the one thing I'm going to be salty about. Name your colorists, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Cover is by Dan Jurgens and Mikkel Haneen. Variants by John Timms.
Yeah.
This is an anthology book, obviously, from that lineup.
Yeah, so I am curious. Is it an actual anthology, or is it the one where like they say it's one story and like the art and the writers just change as you turn the page and it's a cut?
It's 64
you know what I mean?
pages. So I'm going to assume that it's probably in the vein of like the Marvel Zero issues that they did, like 2013, 2014, or 0.1 issues that they did 2013, 2014-ish, where like there's a framing story and then you get 4 or 5 pages, would be my guess.
Okay.
Because some of the things it talks about happening here need, I think, more than a page to set up what they're setting up. So it opens with the Joker attacking Gotham City. It goes to Brazil, where a young woman discovers her destiny and connection to the Amazons. I'm assuming that's going to be Yara Flor, who we've seen as Wonder Woman in Future State. In Belle Rev, Amanda Waller plots an invasion of Arkham Asylum. In the far reaches of space, Mongol dreams of galactic domination, which is, I think, tying back to Worlds at War, the Superman future state story. Green Lantern Corps hosts a summit of its greatest enemies. At the Hall of Justice, the League joins forces with Black Adam. And beyond the mortal world, maybe some spoilers for death metal here.
Yep.
Wonder Woman settles into a new role in the God Sphere. And somewhere in the DC universe, it's the return of Stargirl in an all-new tale written by Jeff Johns. Which is interesting because, like, there's nothing about Stargirl or Jeff Johns anywhere else in this. That's kind of the one open thread hanging.
Yeah, and it looked like it was just kind of tacked on the end. It was a little odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we get into the meat. So, Jen, this first book up, you mentioned as one of the things you were looking forward to in 2021.
Hell yeah.
Batman Urban Legends #1. This is oversized at 64 pages. It's $8 and it's got 4 stories in it. Cover is by Hikam Habchi, variants by David Finch for Batman and Red Hood, and Kyle Gu for Batman and Grifter. That's going to be the one I get, I think. And then there's a blank variant. Yeah. So the sort of feature hook here is a 6-part story that begins in this issue about Red Hood. Jen.
Yes, me. Oh,
you.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So I'm super hyped because, as you mentioned, the feature story about Red Hood is Chip Zdarsky.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
And also the Grifter bits seem to be written by Matthew Rosenberg.
Oh, we were going to get to those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm super excited to finally see Chip writing Batman.
Yeah, and art on that is by Eddie Barrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're going to return Red Hood to his, if not villain status, then on that line and walking both sides of it.
Yeah. The Grifter story you mentioned is written by Matthew Rosenberg, who wrote Grifter for Future State. And this picks up from Batman #101, where Batman saw that Grifter was working as Lucius Fox's bodyguard and gave him sass about something called Halo.
Yep.
I've got to imagine it's not just they play Halo against each other on their off nights. Art here is by Ryan Benjamin. I love me some Grifter, probably mostly because of the wild theory that I had about Grifter showing up on The Flash that never came to be.
Which would have been so much better.
I got very invested in that twist that never happened, and now I love Grifter because of it. So I am here for this. Brian, tell me about the Harley Quinn story, because I know you're excited for some Harley Quinn.
I am so incredible. So Stephanie Phillips is doing this, and specifically, so she's doing it for Future State, and then we'll talk in a minute about the ongoing that's going to come after this.
Yep.
Also by Stephanie Phillips. And seeing her write Harley Quinn, I am majorly excited for.
Yeah. And everything points to Harley finally getting to kind of embrace a more superhero status quo.
Yes.
Stop having to be the villain all the time, and pays off some things we've seen for like the last 18 months or so now.
Yep. And specifically this story in the Urban Legends is her going to find Ivy.
Yep.
Yep.
Art here is by Laura Braga.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
And then the last story is an Outsiders story. This is, I don't know if the Harley Quinn and Grifter stories, I don't know how long those go on for. But this is a 3-part story, The Outsiders is. Written by Brandon Thomas, who also wrote the Future State Outsiders story, with art by Max Dunbar. And this is reuniting Black Lightning, Katana, and Metamorpho. I was really excited with where the last Outsiders book kind of left things, and especially for Black Lightning and Katana. Metamorpho wasn't a part of that book, and I'm excited to see him get folded in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I am excited to see where this goes, and would very happily see this spin off into its own ongoing eventually.
So now we've talked about each of the stories in here. I want to reassert and now say I feel like I have a little more evidence for my wild ass theory about the Grifter thing from Batman 101.
Yeah.
When they mention Halo. And I said, "Oh, I wonder if it has anything to do with that old Outsiders character." And now they're getting Black Lightning and Katana and Metamorpho back together.
Yeah, you may be onto something there, Brian. I just want to say again, like, I liked the idea of these anthology books when Future State leans so hard into them.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see more of that continuing. This is, I think, the most overt version of that. But we're going to see a lot of, like, backup stories supporting 40-page books through here.
I think, and I don't understand why DC and Marvel both, but DC in particular has had several books over for a long, long time where, they used to have New Talent Showcase that was specifically to do little anthology stories where they could kind of test out creative teams, right?
Yeah.
On different characters. And I never understood why they didn't have that ongoing. But that just seems like a natural where you can like test out and see if people and characters, work together.
The answer, and I think there is an answer, honestly. The answer is just those books tend to not sell as well. Like anthology series tend not to sell as well as a book just called Batman.
Right, I guess so. And maybe having it themed that these are all Batman urban legends, maybe that will.
Yeah. Well, and I think anchoring it with some really big name creators also helps. Yeah.
Yep.
While we are in Gotham, we have a book spinning out of the events of the Joker War. The Joker, #1. This is a 40-page book. Cover is by Guillaume March. Variants are by Frank Quitely, Francesco Mattina, Riccardo Federici, and Mark Brooks, with a blank variant as well. This is a result of an editor approaching James Tynion, and James Tynion basically saying, no, you cannot write a good Joker ongoing. It's not doable. And the editor's saying, okay, but tell me how you would do it.
If we told you had to, what would you do?
I like that Tynion is honest about sort of that genesis of this book because it makes me way more interested. And also because his answer was, I'm really going to make it about Jim Gordon.
Yeah, so like when I read Joker #1, I was like, really? They're gonna do this? And then I read, it's written by James Tynion. I was like, all right, yeah, if somebody can pull this off, he's a good choice for it. And then I read the solicitation text, and I was like, oh, damn, that's a pretty good idea.
That's the only way that I am going to read a Joker book. Thank you, you son of a bitch.
What if Catch Me If You Can, but the Joker?
Yes. Yeah.
The Joker and Jim Gordon and Bane.
So, yeah, following, the war, the Joker War, and like all the crap that's gone on in Gotham, basically Joker is like the head of everyone's most wanted list.
Yep.
And so he flees to go around the world, and Jim Gordon, who is approaching retirement anyway, decides, you know what? This is the capstone of my career, and he goes on a manhunt for him.
Yep. Then we have a Punchline backup that picks up after the Punchline special.
Yes.
This is co-written by James Tynion and Sam Johns, with art by Mirka Andolfo.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for this.
Yeah. This is directly coming out of Punchline and features Harper Row picking the mantle of Bluebird back up. So, very much my shit.
All the things.
Then we have that Harley Quinn book that you mentioned, Brian.
Yeah.
Written by Stephanie Phillips. Art and main cover are by Riley Rossmo. Variant is
indeed.
There are 2 variants here. A Derek Chu variant, and then one I'm going to call probably unobtainable because you have to buy 250 copies to get it.
Right.
But everyone should go look at it.
Agreed.
It is by Yoshitaka Amano, best known, I think, in the US for doing Final Fantasy concept art.
Mm-hmm.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah, Harley with the DC and bat tattoos.
Yep.
It's just beautiful.
It begs to be like your phone's lock screen.
Yes.
I
love. She's got a pipe, and it's like a bubble pipe where you blow bubbles out of, and the bubbles that are coming out are like Superman. And
yeah,
it's just beautiful.
The solicitation doesn't really tell us anything other than what we've already said.
Yeah.
She's back in Gotham, trying to make up for her past. Really coming again directly out of Batman.
Yeah, I'm much excited.
Can I say, though?
Yes.
The solicitation text mentions how awesome her new costume is. And I'll give it to you. The pants, love it. High socks, always gonna love that. If in the first issue she does not break her ankle fighting in those fucking heels.
Big chunky heels.
I mean, it's not practical. Stop putting women in big chunky heels. Put them in boots. They can be tall boots. I don't care.
Right.
This is fair.
Make them look like athletic socks. That's fine.
How will you feel if she says, "Give me a second," and then kicks off her shoes before she fights?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Done.
Even
cool.
better,
Awesome.
Kicks them at her foes as her opening attack.
Yeah. I learned this one from my ma.
Wonder Woman taught me this one.
I love it.
Also, bonus points for writing the solicitation from Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
From her, yeah, it's like as though Harley is speaking.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
A 6-issue miniseries, Crime Syndicate.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
I'm
one,
here.
This one was a surprise to me, but makes sense if you read whichever death metal one-shot it was between Jon Stewart and Owlman.
Yep.
This is written by Andy Schmidt. Art on the main story is by Kieran McCowan, and on the backup is by Brian Hitch. Cover is by Liam Jim Chung with a variant by Skan. And this spins out of death metal and is dealing with the universe being reborn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically talks about how Crime Syndicate comes to power on Earth 3. And then the backup stories are the origins of these different characters.
Yep.
Which is
starting
awesome.
with Ultraman.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. I'm super excited.
Here's another one that I think Jen's going to be excited for.
Oh, shit.
Suicide Squad #1, with the same writer as its future state title, Robbie Thompson.
It does... Okay.
Yep.
Damn it. Look.
Jim was like, why do you think I'm going to be excited about Suicide Squad?
Yeah. And then you said Robbie Thompson, and god damn it. I have to have it.
The artist and cover artist on this is Eduardo Ponsica. Variant is by Gerald Perel. Peacemaker is now the field leader. There will be no more avenging or defending the government's top secret task force of killers, thieves, and criminals. And Waller, who is back in control of the squad, asterisk, and alive again, sends a new squad into Arkham Asylum to recruit the deadly Court of Owls assassin Talon while she interviews another new candidate, Superboy. So this definitely sounds like it's coming out of that backup about Amanda Waller in which book was that? Oh, that was in the Infinite Frontier.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is picking up from Infinite Frontier 0.
Mm-hmm.
That brings us to my boy, Swamp Thing. A 10-issue series with the possibility of a pickup if it sells well enough. Everybody listening is legally obligated to go buy it.
Yes.
I don't know what legally obligates you to it, but just do it, don't ask questions.
It is your undying love for everything Rom V. That's what legally obligates people to go get this.
Rom V plus Swamp Thing. Like,
I know.
It's the ultimate Venn diagram.
It's your actual jam.
If that's not enough, then go look at the first cover.
And there are interior pages now. There is preview. Well, they might be Future State preview pages, but it's the same artist as Future State, Mike Perkins. Variant is by Francesco Mattina. This is about a new Swamp Thing named Levi Kame, who is unable to control his transformation and gets thrust into a mystery about a bunch of grisly murders conducted in a desert. Or sorry, committed. Sorry, I misread that. Committed by a supernatural desert legend. There we go.
Yeah, this is very much a more approaching a Swamp Thing horror book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, let me tell you, Rom V is going to kill at. This book is going to be great. Just do it. Get the Future State issues. Get this. Don't ask questions.
Everything.
Can I be more aggro about it? Probably. Don't make me.
Can you?
Let's not find out. Everyone go buy it. Let's not find out.
I'll be your aggro hype man.
Thank you.
Get it!
Next up is Teen Titans Academy #1. I cannot believe the cold shot we made in saying, yeah, I bet they make a Teen Titans Academy book after Future State.
Pow.
With
no inside information on that. We're just good.
So, well, and that's the thing I think that is part of why I'm so excited about Future State and Infinite Frontier. Like, it actually feels like the storytelling is incredibly intentional and not like, hey, here's what happens 5 years ago or 5 years from now if this big event doesn't actually play out the way it will. Which was kind of the 5 years later during World's End and Future's End.
I think I have thought about this, and I think this is what they were trying to do with Future State, right? Is they were trying to give without telling you the ending, essentially.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing that says that things still can't change about whatever was presented in Future
Yeah.
State. But I think just having a target for some things to write towards is going to make a lot of things more cohesive because everybody kind of knows what that point you're moving towards is.
Well, and I think this is a great example.
Yeah.
I think the Superman stuff is a great example. We see a future where Teen Titans Academy has happened and gone horribly wrong.
Yep.
And then we see the beginning of Teen Titans Academy. And we know that explosion, that battle that ends up making Shazam, who is a character in this, disappear. We're making Billy Batson disappear, at least. We know that is a potential outcome. When we get to the Superman stuff, we know that Mongol having whatever Worlds of War is, that future is a potential outcome. And yeah, like we have maybe things do get that bad, and maybe we see it directly, or maybe we see it averted, but it's in the DNA of this.
Yeah.
And also Dick Grayson as a teacher, and we'll probably get some more Jim and Juan speak.
Yeah, well, if we don't hear, we definitely will in another book in a minute.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said this is written by Tim Sheridan with art by Rafa Sandoval. That's the same creative team as Future State. Variant is by Jamal Campbell, who I actually think did the Future State variant as well. We get a bunch of new characters in the student body, along with whoever will be Comrade X. I'm still going to guess Clown Hunter.
That's my vote still as well, yeah.
Nightwing, Starfire, Raven, Cyborg, and Beast Boy are teachers and mentors.
Yes.
Excite.
Yes.
You know who I did not see on there, which really, again, it could just be, is Donna Troy.
I know she's on the big, so we haven't really acknowledged some of the like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Justice League books have like big wraparound covers that show their whole casts.
Mm-hmm.
She's on the cover for that, so I think she may be more Wonder Woman than Teen Titans.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, it could just be like, hey, she shows up as a guest lecturer eventually. Who knows?
Yeah, they're really, one of the things I'll mention just in general, they definitely seem, because we'll get to a lot of these in a minute, is they seem to be developing Wonder Woman into more of a Superman and Batman-esque like line.
Yeah.
Where there are, several books and characters, and yeah.
Well, and you made a comment at some point recently about how Wonder Woman seems to be positioned in this almost all-father Thor kind of place.
Yep.
And I think as we get into it, you really hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the end of Death Metal 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But first, let's talk Superman. Superman number 29 and Action Comics number 1029 basically form a single story between them. So Superman 29 has cover and variant by Phil Hester and John Timms, respectively. Action by Phil Hester with Eric Gapstur and Julian Totino Tedesco on cover and variant, respectively. The main feature of both books is a story called The Golden Age, Part 1 and Part 2. In part 1 is in Superman, and part 2 is in Action. This story is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, who is taking over as the ongoing writer for both books, and who wrote Future State Superman Worlds at War, which is part of why I think with the Mongol mention in Infinite Frontier. Infinite Reality is a comic shop in Atlanta. Infinite Frontier mentions Mongol. He wrote Worlds at War. I think we're going to see that as kind of the looming future here. But this 2-part story, The Golden Age, is about Jonathan Kent looking at Superman's legacy and realizing that even though his father has died and come back before, he knows from being in the future that Superman someday will die again, and anything could be the thing that causes it. So he's kind of dealing with that legacy, and we see him living with having that legacy and being Superman in Future State. Then we have a pair of Tales of Metropolis backups. I should say Phil Hester and Eric Gapstor are the artists on both parts of the Golden Age. We have a pair of backups. In Superman is Tales of Metropolis by Sean Lewis with art by Sammy Basri, about Jimmy Olsen on a quest to meet some of the city's more colorful denizens, starting with Bibbo Bibowski.
Bibbo!
In Action Comics, the Tales of Metropolis backup is about Midnighter.
Yeah.
With Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad writing, who wrote the Midnighter story in Future State, and Michael Avon Oming on art. This is another one of those that I wonder if this backup isn't going to potentially set up an ongoing or miniseries.
Yeah, and some of these you have to get the impression that like they're doing this, and it depends a lot on the reactions to them, right?
The reactions, or just there are 18 titles. I feel like some of the structuring on backups is all right. We know people are going to pick up Superman. We know people are going to pick up Batman. Let's introduce these storylines here. And then when we have the miniseries, people will already have read these creative teams or the ongoings, whatever. People will already have read these creative teams writing these characters and will be more likely to say, okay, let me add this book that's all Midnighter. Or when we get to Batman in a second, there's a Robin backup by Matthew Rosenberg. And he's one of the people whose tweets really have made me think like there's something already planned that this is setting up. So, Batman 106, cover by Jorge Jimenez with a wraparound variant by Jorge Jimenez and another variant by Riccardo Federici. And let's actually start with that Robin backup, because that Robin backup is a 2-part story that will also continue into Detective Comics 1034's backup. It's written by Matthew Rosenberg. Art is by Gleb Melnikov, who did the Ginny Hex special that we'll talk about on our next regular episode. And this sees Damian leaving Gotham to go back to his mother in the first part, and the second part introduces the idea of another faction of the League called the League of Lazarus. Same writer and artist team, Rosenberg and Melnikov. And yeah, I definitely think that is setting up some kind of ongoing.
Yeah, or at least a limited series.
Yeah. Something longer form, I should say.
Yes.
The main story in Batman 106 is written by James Tynion, continuing his run. Jorge Jimenez remains as artist, continuing his run as well. This picks up after the events of Infinite Frontier #1, but also after everything that's been going on. Ghostmaker is now in Gotham. The Scarecrow comes back. I don't know if you've seen the A cover for this, but it is absolutely goddamn gorgeous.
Is that the wraparound cover?
No, the wraparounds are all variants. This is
okay. No, yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
The yellow with the silhouetted.
Yes.
Yeah, the colors in that are just
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Jorge Jimenez tweeted about upping his game in 2021, and yes, absolutely believe it based on that image alone.
Yeah, all 3 of these covers are gorgeous.
Yeah. And then the solicitation mentions a billionaire named Simon Saint pitching a law enforcement system to a new mayor. I wonder if this is Halo, Saint, Halo.
Yeah.
If Brian's not right on that off chance.
Right.
But also this could become that law enforcement system we see in Future State.
Yeah, I definitely my Halo is still a long shot in my opinion.
Well,
yeah.
And either way, I think this is definitely going to be tied to the Future State.
Yes. Yeah.
Then over in Detective Comics 1034, cover is by Dan Mora, who takes over the series interior art as well, with a variant by Lee Bermejo. Who's taking over writing this book, Brian?
Man, I had just gotten used to not having to pick up Detective Comics on a regular basis.
Just when you think you're out, they pull you back in.
Mariko Tamaki, come on!
Oh dang!
Yep.
So yeah, I'm back into Detective.
Yep.
Starting March.
Bruce Wayne's lost his fortune and his home, and there's a new mayor, and growing anti-vigilante sentiment in Gotham.
Yep.
So he must ask, how do be Batman? Once more.
How Batman be now? Yes.
What am the Bat, Father? Why we're all talking like Bizarro, I don't know. I'm super excited. The next book is maybe the biggest surprise to me in terms of its premise. And I was already reading and enjoying this book. Josh Williamson had been writing.
Yeah.
We see a new creative team take over. Batman, Superman, starting with number 16. This is written by Jean Lewin Yang of what was the Terrifics. The Terrifics. He did a great Superman run that I loved, and of course he did Superman Smashes the Klan.
Mm-hmm.
Art and cover are from Ivan Reis and Danny Miki, with a variant by Greg Smallwood, which is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
Side
yeah.
note. This book is now about alternate reality Superman-Batman teams.
Yeah.
I did not expect this, and I cannot tell you how much I love this idea.
I do too. A book that is like every issue exploring different realities of this team up.
Yeah, I do not know that you could write a book that is more my shit, and I say that in a line of stuff that is so up my alley. Super, super excited for this.
Yeah.
And like I love the tease of some of the villains that they mention.
Yeah.
Like
Spider Lady,
who has very, very much to me like an alternate Selena Kyle type.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah. Like what if it was spiders instead of cats?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Dr.
Jenna's
Adam.
Conspiracy Corner.
Dr. Adam, who wears a kryptonite pendant.
Yep.
And the mechanical machinations of the unknown wizard.
Ooh.
It's also very, like, at least this one is very, like, pulpy. Like, everything about the cover and the designs on it and the way the solicitation is written.
Yes.
Super pulpy.
I get the feeling they know exactly what they are and are okay with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other rare The Creative Team Continues books.
Yeah.
Catwoman number 29, Ram V, Fernando Blanco. Now, this is the one book that I know the colorist on. There is a new colorist on this book, and as I say this, I am going to drop into Slack so you two can both see the beautiful, beautiful colors. A preview page of this book.
Oh.
We have gushed about FCO Placencia's colors on the first few issues of this.
Ooh.
And the new colorist is Jordi Belair.
Oh
So,
God.
the book is in very good hands.
Yeah. Yeah, this is beautiful.
The image I've sent is just like 2/3 of the page is a cityscape with Selena leaping over it.
With all these bright neon signs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, gorgeous.
So this book's going to remain absolutely freaking gorgeous.
Yeah, and the alt cover by this is by Jenny Frischen, which
Oh my
she's been
God.
doing all the variants, and I normally
Yeah.
never buy the cardstock variants. I normally refuse to pay an extra $1 for a harder cover.
yeah.
I've bought every single Jenny Frischen variant to this.
Well, yeah. That's back like when she was doing all the alt Wonder Woman covers.
Yeah.
Like she just got it. I love it.
Every time she posts a new Wonder Woman sketch, I'm like, can you just stop? This is embarrassing.
Largely, the book continues as it has been. It sounds like the big addition here from what we've sort of set up in the first 3-4 issues is the Riddler joins the cast.
Annoying.
Yeah, and Poison Ivy's mentioned too.
Which, if you're caught up,
right? Yeah, just reminding you that this is a whole mix now. Yeah.
Which means at some point Harley's got to show up because Harley's looking for Ivy. Moving on to The Flash. We have a new creative team coming on in the form of Jeremy Adams, who wrote Future State's Black Adam stories. With art and cover from Brandon Peterson and a variant by Ian McDonald. And this is about Wally West wanting to retire.
Okay. Everything about this excites me because I feel like one of the things they're going to try to accomplish in this is this resolution between Barry Allen and Wally West and who is the Flash and what, this whole thing that has been there for so long, right?
Yep.
And we've talked about that before. And so I'm excited that I think somebody's finally going to attempt to tackle that in a way that resolves it once and for all. The other thing is that they have to confront the Justice League, which is led by Green Arrow.
Well, they have to confront the past.
Correct.
I did not read this so much as the Justice League is led by Green Arrow as much as I did Green Arrow leads their having to confront the past.
Oh.
Like, Green Arrow is the Justice League character who hangs out in this book.
I read it as by way of a Justice League led by Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this. I would 100% be down for that, because I love me some Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Speaking of Justice League, this is another one of our 40-page main story and then backup story books.
Yep.
The cover and variant, the wrapper and variant are by David Marquez. There is also a variant by Kyle Gu. The Justice League story is helmed by Brian Bendis. Brian Bendis has taken over the Justice League.
So we kind of wonder where Brian was going after he left Superman, right?
Yep. The answer is...
Here it is.
Where does one go after Superman? To Justice League.
To Justice League, yeah.
David Marquez is the artist. They worked together on this little book called Miles Morales.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. And another little book called Iron Man.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. So there are some interesting changes to the Justice League roster.
Yeah.
You have your traditional Batman, Superman, Flash, Hawkgirl, Aquaman. Hippolyta?
Well, because Diana's not around anymore.
Yep. Naomi? Hell yes.
Yeah.
And Black Adam.
Yeah.
Just... no.
So clearly, and I haven't read it yet. It's out this week.
I have, and it makes me very excited for this.
The Endless Winter, the last Endless Winter book, I have not read it yet. But clearly, if Hippolyta and Black Adam are in this, it's something coming out of that.
Yeah.
Yes. I think once you finish Winter's End, it will make very clear what Black Adam's relationship is with this.
Okay.
And all I will say is my expectation for this book is going to be a lot of Superman and Black Adam butting heads at every turn. And there is something about that idea that I love.
Yeah.
The backup here, and this is another one that I'm almost positive is going to turn into, in April, May, here's the ongoing that goes with it. Justice League Dark.
Yeah.
Written by Ram V. Art by Hermonico. And this is setting up a new Justice League Dark arc with Merlin as the villain. And we saw Merlin as their nemesis in Future State.
Yeah.
So Zatanna, Constantine, Road Trip, a friend and sometimes foe reborn in fire. Do we want to guess who that is? It's got to be Etrigan, because we see Etrigan become... Jen, do you know who is the host of Etrigan in Future State? Have you heard about this?
No, I have not.
So our question when this was announced was, what will they rhyme with Etrigan? And Ram V shared a preview page of Future State that answers that question.
Oh, no.
Gone, the form Simeon, because Detective Chimp is the Future State Etrigan.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
All right, fine. Yep. All right, fine. All right, fine. Fine. That's fine. Yeah. All right, fine.
Simeon and Etrigan. Yes. Okay. Great. Perfect. I love you, Rom V. This is not news.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. You know what? What's next is Jim and Juan, number 78.
Yeah.
Yes. Brian and I think I cut some of this from the episode, but expressed some, not even frustration, just there are certain parts of Nightwing and his being held in B-list and the Nightwing Barbara Gordon relationship that never really has been sold to us. And it's like DC said, fine, you know what? Okay, watch this. Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo are going to move Nightwing to the A-list and focus on the Nightwing and Barbara Gordon relationship.
Yep, guess it's going to get earned, maybe. Let's hope.
I mean, I can't imagine it won't be.
Yeah, I am all the excited about this.
Also, what's the last name of Bloodhaven's new mayor, Brian?
Zuko.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh, that's going to end poorly.
Also, as a quick side note, Jen, I don't know if you have read or been caught up on Tom Taylor's Suicide Squad run, but they're putting out the whole thing in one big, beautiful hardcover.
Well, I will be then.
Yep. Big, beautiful hard from Tom Taylor.
Yeah. And by the way, wait, because I don't want to undersell it. The other thing is apparently Batgirl uncovers a huge revelation about who actually killed Dick's parents.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So, and that's going to be obviously a huge focus in this ongoing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman number 770. Cover and variant, which is another one of the wraparounds, are both by Travis Moore, who is also the artist on the main story. Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad, who wrote Immortal Wonder Woman in Future State, take over as writers here. Very excited. What is happening?
What is this?
First line of the solicitation. What is happening?
No,
Brian,
you have to do
Jen,
it with the punctuation. What is
happening? Better?
Yes.
Okay. Wonder Woman wakes up in the middle of a battle. Where or when?
Well, go ahead.
It's rhetorical. One of you has to answer.
Valhalla? Huh? She's fighting in Valhalla? What?
Am confused.
Something has gone wrong in the sphere of the gods, apparently.
Oh no. Is this a God of War tie-in?
Maybe. We don't know yet. But nobody else seems to think anything's out of place. Except her.
Yep. Then we get to the backup, which is going to be about young Diana of Themyscira.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who's writing and drawing this one? Jordi Belair, with art by Paulina Ganesho. Yeah, it's a great creative team. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I love stories of Diana on Themyscira, like, without the whole Wonder Woman. Like, yeah. Without the baggage of all the future Wonder Woman stuff that comes later. Yeah.
Yes. And then the last two books we're going to mention from DC are not part of Infinite Frontier, but they are worth mentioning nevertheless. One is Superman Red and Blue, number 1 of 6.
Yep.
The companion to Batman Black and White. Main cover is by Gary Frank. Variants are by Liber Mejo and Yoshitaka Amano. There are 5 stories here. I'm just going to quickly name the creative teams, because that's really all you need to know. Number 1, John Ridley and Clayton Henry.
Yeah.
Number 2, Brandon Easton and Steve Lieber.
Damn it.
Number 3, Wes Craig. Number 4, Marguerite Bennett and Jill Thompson.
Fucking A.
And number 5, just for me, not just for me, but, you know, Dan Waters and Danny.
I mean, I don't know what to say. You gotta, yeah.
Must have.
And finally, a Wonder Woman. I believe this is an anthology storybook. Sensational Wonder Woman, written by Stephanie Phillips.
Yes.
Art by Megan Hetrick. Cover by Yasmin Putri, with a variant by Ejikuri. This is celebrating the 80th anniversary of Wonder Woman, and starts with a story about a battle with Dr. Psycho.
I don't know if the image that's in the solicitations we looked at is the main or the variant cover, but holy crap, is that beautiful!
I mean, it's gorgeous.
It's her with, you know, the lasso spinning around and like these stone smoke lions.
So that image is the A cover.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Because that's the Yasmin Putri cover, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was. But yeah, I didn't want to say it incorrectly. But oh my god, that's so gorgeous.
Yeah. And I don't see the Ejikure cover in this list of solicitations, but her art is also gorgeous. It's very, very much in that sort of art germ school of cover design.
Brian says,
Sort of, yeah, boy. Mm-hmm.
Like, I think she's actually collaborated with Art Germ on some variants.
Yeah.
Because she tweeted about some.
And can I tell you, this involves the story is they say it's celebrating Wonder Woman's 80th anniversary, but in a battle with Dr. Psycho, something happens, right?
Uh-huh.
And can I tell you, like, I can't see or hear Dr. Psycho now without thinking of the character from Harley Quinn.
I know.
Oh my god. So good.
That Harley Quinn show has like permanently influenced my perception of certain characters.
Absolutely, yeah. Specifically, Dr. Psycho.
Well, I know the next time Clayface shows up, I'm going to be like, no, why are you not reading like Alan Tudyk?
I am an actor.
Yes.
Sorry, Batman the Animated Series Clayface and all of your pathos, but you have been unseated.
Yeah,
it had to happen eventually.
Yep.
So good. Okay.
All right, that is it. That is March. That is, before editing, an hour and 15 minutes of solicitation.
Yeah. And I guess I'll mention super quick, there are several other books that are just kind of continuing outside, and I'm not going to say all of them, but like just as an example, like Batman Catwoman. Right?
Yeah, like Batman, Catwoman, Strange Adventures, The Dreaming, all the kind of Black Label, Vertigo sort of stuff
style,
that kept chugging along in January and February will continue to.
And those are going to continue on kind of outside of this soft relaunch type thing. Yeah. All right.
So how do you two both feel? I've been very clear. I think I am just hella excited about everything to do with this.
No,
how do you two, especially Jen, who has not been here for the Future State stuff?
Yeah, like I have no idea what's going on, but I don't feel like I need to go back. I'm gonna eventually go back and read all that, but I don't feel like I need to in order to understand what's gonna be going on.
Yeah, this does seem like a very good jumping on point.
Yeah. I would say pick up the Future State stuff. The only thing that really just keeps going is Batman.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, the Catwoman is. I mean, it's
Gotham.
not slowing down.
Gotham.
Gotham is. Yeah, there you go. Fair.
And I think that's by design. I think Gotham really feels like it's going to be run sort of like X-Men.
Yep.
Going forward.
Yep. It makes me wonder if they're going to do that. Like I think I mentioned with Wonder Woman, if they're really going to set these up kind of like that. Specifically Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, to be like their own line type things that are cohesive. And
historically, DC has run those books as kind of their own editorial offices in those sort of groups.
Yep.
I think that's going to be true regardless. Whether or not they're sort of a figure in the middle, that I think is maybe the thing that explicitly is different for Gotham. I think from what I've read in Tynan's newsletter and in tweets, like I think James Tynan is very much filling that role.
Yep.
Going forward.
It seems that way.
All right, that is it. I'm not going to do the whole usual hullabaloo at the end other than to thank Chase Parker for our intro voiceover.
Yeah.
you know where to find us. You have found
Yeah.
us if you're listening to this.
If not, go listen to a regular episode and we'll have it. Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, just quick shout out to our YouTube channel. Don't forget that that's there. Feel free to like and subscribe stuff over there as well.
Do it.
Yep. All right. I'm Alex.
I'm Jenna.
And I am Brian. Go read comics and get ready for March.